Number 7. The Devil's Den. In 1946, Catherine Van Alst, an 8-year-old girl who was with her family at Devil's Den State Park, disappeared from their camp and got lost. 6 days later, she was found sitting in a cave approximately 48 kilometers away and 183 meters higher than the spot from which she had disappeared. The thing that perplexed the search party was Catherine's remarkable calmness when they found her. She was reported to have walked peacefully out of the cave and announced, "Here I am." How an 8-year-old girl wearing only a bathing suit managed to travel such a distance and show no signs of harm is still a mystery. Many suggest that something chased Catherine, which is why she strayed so far from the camp. While it likely wasn't a lumbering, radioactive Bigfoot, it cannot be denied that it was indeed mysterious and that something sinister could be lurking in the Devil's Den Park. Number 6. Mount Shasta. Mount Shasta is located in the Shasta Trinity National Forest of California and is a place shrouded by mysteries and legends. The tribes who lived on the mountain once thought of it as the center of creation and all life, while New Age believers see it as the Earth's main point of spiritual energy. In 1931, a huge forest fire swept across the mountains, only to be stopped by a strange fog that suddenly arose. It was later realized that the fog had stopped the fire directly in line with the Central Time Zone. This occurrence has never been explained scientifically. The mountain is also said to be an entry point to the 5th dimension and an energy supply base for extraterrestrial craft, with local villages reporting large humanoid figures observing them from a distance. People also link these sightings to the Karuk legend of the Big People, a race of superhuman individuals who fled their destroyed city of Lemuria and are responsible for the mysterious occurrences on the mountain. Number 5. Hopi, Keeper of Death. Grand Canyon National Park is perhaps one of the most famous parks in the world. With just under 5,000 square kilometers, the canyon is riddled with mysteries and folklore. One of the tribes that inhabited the canyon was the Hopi, comprised of elders, workers, and hunters. They thrived there, with some writers speculating that the tribe had built an underground citadel within the canyon. The Hopi believed in the god Ma'asa, the supposed keeper of death. Ma'asa is said to reside in a specific region of the canyon. If you see strange lights coming toward you from within the canyon at night, or you hear a faint tapping of rocks, Ma'asa is after you. While this sounds like superstitious nonsense, many have experienced nausea and anxiety in the region shortly after hearing the rocks clanging. Although the area is level and not considered to be dangerous, a large number of accidents have occurred there. Number 4. Mysterious Force in the Washington Woods. On January 27, 2018, in Olympic National Park, an immensely powerful force knocked down over 100 trees. Experts immediately assumed that strong winds or another meteorological phenomenon was responsible. However, no weather data suggested that anything out of the ordinary had occurred. The evening before, park visitors had reported hearing a huge rumbling sound. This led officials to believe that some kind of landslide or minor earthquake had taken place, but there was no evidence pointing to that either. In some areas, trees were knocked all the way down. In others, trees were just broken and leaning severely. It is still unknown what caused so many trees to fall, but many people turn to more out-there explanations. Although we can safely say that it wasn't Bigfoot out on an evening rampage, we cannot draw a final conclusion as to what happened in the Washington woods. Number 3. The Missing Germans. Death Valley National Park is a vast area of barren land, sprawling over 3 million acres from California to Nevada. On a day that was 49 degrees Celsius in July 1996, 4 German tourists went missing without a trace. Their last known location was a small ghost town where they had written in a visitor's book, "We are going through the pass." Rangers assume that means the Mengel Pass. When the family wasn't on their flight home, Interpol was alerted. On August 14th, they were officially reported missing. Their rental van was found abandoned on October 23rd with 3 flat tires. No wallets or passports were ever found, leading many to believe that the group had been kidnapped. However, in 2009, human bones were discovered in Death Valley. Authorities claimed that they were fairly certain that the bones belonged to the missing Germans. However, no one has heard any update on the case since. Number 2. Smoky Mountain Mystery. The Smoky Mountains sit along the Tennessee and North Carolina border, with the national park covering over 187,000 acres of land. The site has been known for many disappearances over the years. Perhaps the strangest was the case of Dennis Martin in 1969. The 6-year-old boy and his family were on a hiking trip in the Smoky Mountains. Dennis and his 3 brothers decided to jump out at their parents when they walked past. The 3 brothers went one way, while Dennis went in the other direction because his bright red top made him more obvious. When the time came, the 3 brothers jumped out at their parents, but Dennis did not. They presumed that he had missed his cue and called his name while waiting for him to come out. Still, he did not. They went looking for Dennis and found no trace of him. So they called for the search and rescue unit to assist in finding him. Dennis was not found by nighttime or in the many weeks of searching that followed. Some people reported seeing a small boy walking through the woods, while others reported finding various small items of clothing, but Dennis was never found. Many speculate that he was kidnapped or dragged off by a wild animal, but there is no evidence to support these theories. He left absolutely no trace. To this day, no one knows exactly what happened to Dennis, but he is presumed dead by authorities. Unfortunately, his case was only one of many to happen in the Smoky Mountains. Number 1. Hawaiian Fireballs. Hawaiian Volcanoes National Park sits on Hawaii Island, also known as the Big Island. While this is a place of immense wonder and beauty, it is also an area of superstition and mystery. On March 27, 1998, a blue explosion of light lit the night sky, along with a huge roaring sound. Hundreds of locals called it in, as well as a pilot who was in the air at the time. He claimed that the object came within 3 kilometers of his plane and increased the temperature dramatically. This statement was supported by others in the cabin. Authorities later announced that the explosion was a meteor, but some Hawaiian locals were not convinced, claiming that it was an awakened Hawaiian god who was angry with what humanity was doing to the world. This is only one of many mysterious occurrences on the island of Hawaii. Numerous visitors have taken rocks from Hawaiian Volcanoes National Park and then mailed them back due to odd events happening when they arrived home. This led them to believe that the rocks were cursed. Others have reported encountering spirits while walking around late at night, as well as seeing strange hazes in the distance.